Hello there. Welcome to the Parlor, your hub for independent art and entertainment. We're here today in our Parlor screening room with independent artist, Mr. Pedro A. Comas, Mr. Tito.
Tito, yeah. If you call me Pedro, you don't know me.
Yeah.
You're trying to sell me something.
No.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I was Mr. Tito.
All right.
So how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great. Thanks.
Thank you so much
Great.
for coming and hanging out with us on the
Honored to
Parlor.
be here with you guys.
Thank you so much. By the way, I have a little surprise for you. I have somebody that actually wants to say hello. So hang on 1 second here. We're gonna go ahead and.
I think I know who it's going to be.
Hi, Brody.
Hi, is this the independent artist and filmmaker, Miss Ann Wells?
The one and only.
Hello,
All right.
Ann. How's it going?
The zombie girl.
Hi, guys. Hi, Tito.
How are you?
I'm great.
It's great to hear your voice, Ann. I miss
Great
you.
to hear your voice, too.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us for a moment here, Ann.
Yeah.
I figured maybe you'd like to surprise Tito and say hi and hello. If you
That
had any
is
questions
awesome.
for him.
That is fantastic. Yep.
Tito's answered all my questions. But I definitely want everybody to know just how wonderful he was when I was in Ocala shooting an accidental zombie named Ted. He not only helped production with all kinds of graphic design stuff that we needed last minute and, stuff, but he also let us use his parents' house as one of the locations. So he hosted us very, very graciously, as you can imagine. It was lots of people.
You guys were there really early, and I sleep late. So
Most artists do.
It was fun though. It was fantastic.
And actually
Yeah.
through that experience, that's where I got to meet Mr. Tito, and that's also where I got to meet you, Ann, and here we are now.
Here we are, a few years later.
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like it was just yesterday.
I know. You know, Ann, I watched the movie about 2 weeks ago again.
You did.
Yeah, I sure did.
Aw.
I sure did. Yep. I wanted to go
Got
back
your
and see
parents
it.
in it?
right. No, it reminded me. The house was. I lived there for a long time with my dad, so it was really an honor to be able to do that and have it on forever.
Yeah, it's cool. It's I try to explain that to people a lot. That I know it just seems like right now we're just doing this little thing, but forever you're going to be able to have this sort of
That's right.
memory of of this moment, but also the way the house looked is now forever
Captured, yeah.
memorialized and captured.
I remember your face when I told you need to come over and just look, because you were looking just for an outside shot. And I said, you gotta come in and see, because the house was the 70s. It's my parents' house, So she walked in and went, wow, I need to be here tomorrow again. So yeah.
We need set design in here.
It was great, yeah.
Stepping into the 70s.
And by the way, I met some fantastic people that I keep in touch with.
Yeah.
Chris Sato, and I spoke to what's the guy that did the father? Liche, right? I couldn't remember, but Liche, yeah. He actually called me about 2 weeks ago from New York.
Oh, wow.
He was in a bar having a couple of beers, and he said,
Where's
"I gotta
Tito?"
call Tito." Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah, because he came and visited me a couple of times after the movie. So yeah,
Nice.
so it was
so
great. Yeah,
cool.
great
That's
people.
My favorite thing about making a movie is that it creates family.
Yes.
It creates you have a bond that you just that's so intense from doing it. Doing this really difficult and intense thing and moving together so closely for so long. And so I love that. I love hearing about the bonds that were created and, that have been nurtured since then.
Not to mention, all of this took place right here in Ocala,
in our hometown.
In our hometown, where the Parlor Productions is now established.
Yeah,
the home.
And literally getting to see the entire community come together for a film that could have easily been shot in LA, and here it is right in Ocala.
And there were people from all over.
And
people from all over, and it was really, really an experience to see the whole process.
Yeah. I'm so glad that it meant so much to the town, and it really, it sealed Ocala in my heart for sure.
Absolutely.
Ocala will always have a special place in my heart, and I'm still so grateful that the town embraced us because, it's not necessarily easy to find a town that's happy to have everybody come from
but
and kind of take over, and you guys were just so gracious.
You opened your own doors when you came to the film festival.
Yeah.
That's what happened. Yeah.
Well, I came and I just fell in love with the whole town and the way everybody was, and just how welcoming they were and how open and really how supportive of artists, because not everybody understands us, and just the film festival was so supportive of artists, and really excited to see our films. And sometimes it's hard to get people to even just watch them.
Oh yeah.
I had dinner with Patrick and Mary last night.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh,
They're also involved.
I miss you guys. I really need to. When this coronavirus thing is over, I'm coming back for a visit.
You have to.
And we're definitely looking forward to having you on our show here. Getting in touch with you in the next few weeks to actually via Skype. So we'll actually have a nice little setup there for her. So probably in the next few episodes.
That was a great surprise.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
It's awesome.
And thank you so much, Ann. Really appreciate it.
Me.
And
great to talk to you guys.
Same here. Love you, girl.
Take care. Have a great night. All right.
All right.
You too.
All right. Bye. I had to surprise you.
Oh, that is awesome. That is awesome. I keep up with Ann in Facebook and Instagram, just on a weekly basis. Yeah. But I haven't talked to her in a long time.
I'm sure it's been a while. I haven't, it's been a long time as well.
Yeah, we had an incredible experience with that movie.
And I remember that day, just literally, the entire cast and crew, everybody's there at the house shooting. Here's craft services and all the food coming in. We got the RVs and the the trailers.
It was really an experience.
It was
really good.
And what were your contributions to the film?
I did some of the graphics. Most of the film was filmed at my house.
Okay.
Actually, it was my dad's house, and he passed away, and I was living in the house. So,
as Ann was saying, it was from the 1970s.
It was perfect.
Was it still decorated in the 70s Art Deco?
And a lot of stuff my dad had designed, and he collected a lot of art. So there was a lot of art on the walls. A lot of it had character.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. That time period definitely had its own character that evolved very quickly throughout that time, almost on a monthly or daily basis, because there was always something new going on during that time period. So I can imagine how interesting it would be to.
And the house, they moved from Puerto Rico. That's where we're originally from. So they brought a lot of the stuff that they've been together, my parents, for 60 years.
Oh, wow.
So they had a lot of stuff that they have bought all over, And so the house had some character.
That sounds awesome.
Speaking of history, how far back do you recall, and speaking of Ocala,
I came to Ocala in 1978.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I graduated from school in Houston, worked there for a couple of years, went back to Puerto Rico, worked in an ad agency there for a while. And I was starting a family. My parents have moved to Ocala, of all places, retired. So I came to visit.
Yeah.
And when I came here, there was nothing. So I wanted to start my own business. I said, it's perfect place to start at zero.
Yeah.
So I started my own business there. And I have a really incredible story to me, because when I came in 78, I came to my parents' house. I stayed with them till I, found a job.
Established, yeah.
So I was there for maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
And my parents bought the other house where the movie was made.
Right.
And they moved. So they rented this house. And when they both passed away, the house was in the estate. Yeah. So it belonged to my brother, my sister, and myself. So we tried to sell it. We fixed it up, tried to sell it. This is a house that had it in the family for 40-something years.
Yeah.
So the house wouldn't sell.
Yeah.
So I told my brother, my sister, will you give me a price that is fair for you guys, and I'll try to buy it. So I'm back in exactly the same place where I came 45 years ago, where I started my business. I have my table right now, my computer.
Oh, wow.
In the same window that I started my business 40-something years ago. That's where I'm at now.
Some interesting reflection in the same time.
And I never, ever thought that was going to happen. It's just one of those. But anyway, that's how I started in Ocala. When I first came, there was no jobs in graphic design. The only people that did graphic design was the newspaper. Yeah. And they did the ads for free. So I couldn't compete with that.
No.
So, you know what I did for a while?
What's this?
I had done airbrushing and photo retouching and that, so I started painting motorcycle tanks.
Oh, wow.
And T-shirts to support my family.
Yeah.
Until I got into the business. And that's how I did that for like a year and a half. And I painted a lot of eagles and flags. But it was you got to do what you got to do,
So, definitely.
Speaking of Ocala, early 70s, and that of art. So as far as your history and background, where did that all begin? As far as becoming an independent artist? And,
I started my business, graphic design, a little bit of advertising and so on, and at the time, downtown was dead. Yeah. I mean, it was like there were 3 stores open. The rest of downtown was boarded up.
Yeah. By the way, I have one now. This is the early 80s, and this is me as like maybe a 3, somewhere between like the age of 3 and 5. But I remember the Shady Hills Plaza, or Shady Oaks Plaza, excuse me. Oaks, yeah. The first movie that I can remember was it was showing at the Cinema and Pub. And E.T. was released.
Wow.
Of course, E.T. went home. I did not want E.T. to go home.
right.
I began screaming, throwing.
They just showed it last week at the Marion Theater.
I saw that.
So he came back.
Yeah.
He came back. He didn't leave altogether.
My mom had to race me out of the Cinema and Pub, past service mercandise.
Oh, yes.
And Caesars.
Yep.
To give me a new fire truck.
Well, that was the second basic, mall. It's not a mall, but it was the second. Yeah. You had the Paddock Mall that was built in 83, I think. Yeah. Or 84. I did the grand opening of that.
Oh my God.
And I got a really good story about that. The guy that owned Belk Lindsay.
Okay.
He lived in McIntosh.
Really?
He was from McIntosh, and he drove a white. What's the name of the real expensive car?
Like a Lincoln?
Cadillac?
No. Rolls Royce.
A Rolls Royce.
Okay.
A white Rolls Royce, and it was he drove it from McIntosh. Anyway, he came in. And the manager of the mall had just called me like 3 hours before because they had the handicap wheelchairs, and they wanted the logo painted on the chairs so that it would be there. So I ran over there and I painted 3 chairs, so that they would be in the center court when they had the big opening, the big deal. Anyway, Mr. Lindsay comes in, and Mr. DiBartolo, which was the owner of the mall, he owned a lot of malls all over the country. Anyway, he's going to play a joke on Mr. Lindsay. He wants to bring him out in a wheelchair. Well, Mr. Lindsay was wearing a white suit, and he gets on the wheelchair. They didn't know it was still wet.
Oh, no.
So they drive him to the center court of the mall. He gets up and he's got a Paddock Mall reversed on the back of his suit.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's definitely a joke that leaves an imprint.
Oh yeah. So that was my, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yes, you people out there, you can grow into that one. Enjoy that one. That one was free.
But anyway, yeah.
Oh my God, that's fantastic.
I got another story as far as what I think revived downtown.
Okay.
The CFCC at the time, the college, had an art program, and they brought a guy that was a muralist from South Florida. He lived near Okeechobee, and he came up here, and they started painting murals on the big walls downtown. They did 7. He took some of the artists from the college to help him out.
Oh, that's cool.
And where Stella's is now, you know where Stella's is? That's where he lived.
Okay.
And he didn't have a floor. It was dirt. All those places were like downtown only had 3 stores. Yeah. Everything else was like boarded up and really bad. Anyway, he came and started painting, and the Star Banner and the Gainesville Sun started taking pictures and publishing the art that was happening downtown. So people started driving by to this dead city, right? And that brought in some real estate people that said, you know what, I think we can revive this. Yeah. And George Carrasco and C.L. Dinkins, they were like, they bought most of the buildings there and started redoing them. And that's how.
I find it really nice that even for one of the largest small towns you'll ever live in, even during that time, art really can spawn a community project out of it and help bring stuff into the city at the same time. Yeah.
There was a lady that was the first assistant city manager, woman. Okay. You can imagine how hard that was in the early 80s in Ocala. She was the one that worked with the college to bring in the artists to do that, and she also started Ocala Main Street.
Oh wow!
In 1985,
oh, wow.
We were like the second main street in the whole U.S. And that brought in the grant money to put in the gas lights, put in the money to bring in all the brick walkways.
Oh wow!
So that was.
Wow.
That's amazing.
I thought it was a lot earlier than that on some of those brick walkways.
No, that was a big push.
Wow. Yeah. Never realized that.
That is really incredible.
Yeah.
So and the Marion Theater was donated to the city.
That used to be a playhouse at one time, correct?
Well, yep. It's been so a lot of. It was a Discovery Center.
Yeah, I've been in that
for a long time.
I remember that.
It was also a independent film house.
Yep. I actually was the resident sound designer for Square Theater up in the balcony before they turned it back into a second theater.
And then it went through most things that are theater and art. Yeah. It went to a dead period. It couldn't make any money, couldn't be supported. So it got closed. And that's when I got involved with a group that was called Save the Marion Theater.
Oh, yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Because that was Buddy Martin, Gerald Ergel, Angie Lewis, people like that. What we were trying to do was to keep it out of the hands of, stay with it in the so that the city will still own it. We, the people,
Yes.
will own it.
Yeah.
There were at that time Scientology was very interested in buying it, and
that
we have
building
seen
would
what
have been
happened in
destroyed.
Clearwater.
Yeah.
You know, they own most of Clearwater downtown.
Yes.
And that was our main goal, was to keep it away from private.
Just curious, with the names that you had just mentioned, was that somewhat of a beginning point for what became the Ocala Film Foundation? Was that kind of the
Those
breaking
were
point?
basically the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah. We Greg Thompson.
Yep.
You know Greg.
Mhm.
Greg was probably one of the most important people
He
in
was
art
very
and
passionate
theater
about it.
Yeah.
in Ocala. He
I've worked with
started
him.
probably 30 years ago.
Yeah.
He started at the Ocala Civic Theater, the
That's how I
program
met
for
him.
the kids.
Yeah.
And he did all the and he directed a lot of
And
Oh, yes.
not to mention one of the main people behind that of the Ocala or the Silver Springs International Film Festival. I mean,
well, he was the one.
He was the main man, wasn't he?
It was him. He had the knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Laurie Sink had a lot of the contacts,
Mm-hmm.
and I had the art
Right.
background. So we
And then bringing
basically got
everything
together, and we got some people that could bring in some fundraising.
Yeah.
Because that's what created it, and
Mhm.
that's what killed it.
Oh.
You know, we raised between $200 and $250,000 per year
Mm-hmm.
to put on the festival.
Yeah.
And we had 43 nations, 43.
Mm.
I mean, it was a big deal.
Yeah.
But you know, everybody's working for free.
Yeah.
Everybody gets burned out after a while.
Oh,
We thought we were gonna get a grant from the state.
Mm-hmm.
They had a $100,000 grant, but it got,
Wow.
so that didn't work out. So we did it as long as we could.
Yeah.
And it brought a lot of awareness
Yeah.
to Ocala. It was really nice. We did it for 5 years.
I remember the first one. I mean, it was incredible. I mean, how everything was so well organized, mapped
It
out.
was it was tops. The people that we got and involved, and the city was amazing.
Yeah.
The county, the city, anything we asked for, they gave us.
Yeah.
You know.
I remember talking with Greg Thompson about that, and we just kind of laughing. But in a way, it was almost kind of like your sunshiny version to that of what Sundance was doing.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly.
I mean, they had the snow.
We did some
just had the
T-shirts
pizza in,
that
and,
said
oh,
that. Yeah, we sure did.
Yeah, because I remember he was telling me.
I designed the
Yeah,
shirts.
you designed the shirts.
yeah.
At what age did you realize your passions that evolved to what they are now?
Probably in my teens.
Yeah.
In my teens, because like I said, I was really came from an art background family.
Right.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to go to art school.
Mm-hmm.
My sister always wanted to go to art school,
Mm-hmm.
and so it was, just kind of flowed. It flowed, and yeah.
And how did you fall into working in film? I mean, even just for the reputation that you've established, or you just kind of like, Hey,
No,
what's
it
going
just
on?
happened because Ocala is so small
yeah,
that you have to do everything in order to survive.
that's us
You know?
right here.
That's I mean,
You find yourself wearing
yeah,
anywhere
I mean,
between
if I would have
6 to 12
stayed in
different hats.
Houston, or if I
Right.
would have stayed in San Juan,
Yeah.
I probably would have been an art director
Oh, cool.
and
Yeah.
do that and be burned out by 45.
Yeah.
But you have to do everything.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I started doing motorcycle tanks and
Yeah.
T-shirts, and from there, designing brochures, because you get to meet the owner of the farm and this and that, So that's how it developed.
It creates a fantastic network.
Yeah, and never say no.
Absolutely.
If you don't know how to do it, you find somebody that can do it.
Oh, yeah.
Or give you some
There's
helpful
always
tips
somebody
and,
that can do it.
you know,
There's always
teach you.
somebody better than you.
Yes.
So
That
always
you can
surround
always learn
yourself
from.
with people like that, and you learn.
Yeah, never stop learning. Otherwise, what's the purpose? So
this has been really fantastic. One question I would like to ask, as far as for anybody out there, the up and coming artists, or the people that are, just working tooth and nail to get, to a solid point, doing what they love. Is there anything that you would tell them, or could say, as far as just encouragement or
persistence? Never take no for an answer.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, we definitely haven't taken no for an
no,
answer.
No, it's
yeah.
not creative.
Yeah.
Yes is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
you're welcome.
We are greatly appreciative for you being here, and like
Absolutely,
I said, hanging
my
out with
honor,
us. And we look forward to being able to maybe do some work with you.
Yeah, that'd be
or,
wonderful.
further, catch up down the road as we're progressing with our episodes, with our show. And like I said, now we're just getting this off the ground. So, I mean, thank you once again.
This is great. Great concept. Wish you guys luck. I know it's going to be successful.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. And thank you, everybody, for watching this episode. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell for whenever we get something new out there. You'll know firsthand. Also, visit us on Twitter and on Instagram.
Thank you again.
Yes, thank you, everybody.
And we'll see you around. Have a happy one.
Bye.
Bye.